Google's latest iteration of the Android operating system, Android Q, was recently announced in March. With this announcement, the first beta of the freshest version of Android was released. This year, instead of calling the initial betas developer previews, Google simply marketed them as standard betas. However, this doesn't mean that they are any more stable than your typical developer preview. Not intended for the general public or even enthusiasts, these early betas are targeted for Android app developers to allow them to prepare for upcoming platform changes. A second beta was released since, but just a few days ago, Google released a new version of Android Q at Google I/O. As a part of this announcement, Google announced that a wider range of devices from a handful of OEMs, not just Google Pixel phones, are Android Q beta ready. Included in this new set of supported devices are the OnePlus 6 and 6T. As I had a 6T lying around, I decided to make a video taking a look at this first build of Android Q for OnePlus devices. Following the directions provided by OnePlus on their forum post, I downloaded the zip update file and proceeded to update the device. After rebooting, I noticed that the update had wiped the phone. However, this is expected behavior according to the forum post. Once I had finished running through setup, I was greeted with OnePlus's own launcher. Aside from the launcher, this feels like a very AOSP/stock Android build of Android Q. It lacks most, if not all, of the little UI tweaks from Oxygen OS, OnePlus's own blend of Android. Running through the headlining features of this beta of Android Q, we first have something that OnePlus has had in part for a few years now, a dark theme. However, in this situation, the dark theme is built into the very core of Android, and because of that, it should be a much smoother and integrated experience. Google is creating an API for developers to use to know when to switch their app to a darker color palette. Unfortunately for this build, apps that are known to have early access for the dark theme on Google Pixel doesn't seem to support it on the OnePlus 6T. While the Pixel builds of Android Q Beta 3 have a convenient little quick settings tile for toggling this dark theme, the OnePlus 6T build doesn't have such a tile. Instead, to enable it, you have to go into Settings, Display, and Theme. The next major Q change I looked for is a new gestural navigation design. This new design more closely mimics iOS's gestures, being both more fluid and responsive. However, there was no way to turn it on for this OnePlus build. The option is simply missing. This isn't really something that is easily demoable, but Android Q brings a new way that security updates are delivered. Instead of having to wait on OEMs to push the latest and greatest security patches, Google themselves will be rolling out these smaller updates via the Play Store as a part of their Project Mainline initiative. While this doesn't include major software releases such as Android R next year, it does bring a bit of hope as to what Google may be able to do down the road with Mainline. Live captioning is another new feature, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work on this build of Android Q for the OnePlus 6T. Another non-demoable feature is Android Q's new permissions and privacy changes for apps. Developers are now a bit more restricted as to what they can do with their apps when it comes to privacy. A welcome improvement, as always. This build of Android Q for the OnePlus 6T is an absolute bug fest. The sheer number of issues, while expected, is quite problematic. One bug I discovered in this build is that the fingerprint scanner circle randomly appears at times, blocking my ability to interact with the UI. This made it rather difficult to take photos, for example. However, it proved to be difficult to reproduce. There were a lot of other new changes in this beta, such as parental controls, a new focus mode, tweaks to the notification UI, etc., that we couldn't cover in this video. However, other than ogling the latest software features, the most likely reason you're probably watching this video is because you want to know if this is daily driver suitable. The answer is no, a hard no. The plethora of bugs makes this a version of Android you don't want to install. I highly recommend waiting until future betas, if not the final release. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, as that helps a lot. If you'd like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the Android Police channel. If you'd like to subscribe to my personal channel as well, feel free to click on my face here. My name is Jackson Hayes, and this is Android Police.